Hello. Ta-da! I've dropped something. Oh, I need to make sure that the ends are capped so that I can't drop things down off the bench. I dropped it. Hello. Ta-da! Oh dear. Right, well, 3 people came in, 2 went back out. Hello to Friday Night Live, or Saturday Morning Live, or the wee hours of the morning if you're in the UK. G'day, Pete. Right, well, this week, what have we got in store for you? Hey, John, how you going? I'll be putting you in a group fairly soon. After this, that'll all be done. Yay. G'day, Mandy. Right, and Tina and Pete. Geez, here they come, 7 people. Oh, bald-headed Colin. I used alopecia shampoo. I'll not use that again. I wasn't going to say that. Yes, in the cold, in winter, but this is significant to me because I'm back at it. My blues have gone and I'm rebirth. So, yay! G'day, Ned. Yes, it looks a bit different, doesn't it? I haven't got my mask to hide behind. Now I look like my carvings. All I need is a piece of... Hang on, let's try that. Let's try that. Can you see the resemblance? Yeah, I know. I'm not naked. Oh, dear. Oh, no worries, John. We'll sort it all out. Be nice and smooth. You'll like what's been done. You'll know what you're doing. We have some new moderators joining us. John will more than likely be one of them. And the other guy I will keep to myself until he looks and says yay or nay. But we've had a bit of a shuffle up of the moderators because trying to maintain a group this big, having people on there all the time, content. That's g'day, Ness. Ness had the experience of going to Otto's Timber here in Adelaide, and we talked about it very briefly. We're both in the same attitude that, like, oh, here's Aladdin's cave and this is our little piece of heaven. The smells, the dust, it's bloody wonderful. I'm glad that you made it there, Ness. And well done on your tool acquisition. Drawing autos, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so we're having a little bit of shuffle up. We're going to have 2 more people joining the moderator crews. They're going to be looking at pretty much doing what they already do. Yes, I must admit, I walked in there and I made sure that I had gumboots on so that I could cope with the drill. Brett, yay! The Texas Santa's here and Kristen's made it. So, yay! Hello! No, I'm not high. I'm usually like this. Well, I am when I come out of my blues. So I'm actually really happy because my mood has shifted. I've been working like a Trojan this week, trying to thanks Brett, trying to better organize some of the things that we're doing. I'm cleaning up some of the files. I'm getting some help. Yay! Where other people will have a read of the files, and if I put false information, lots of the files will put up in haste. But I've got now 14 of you. Beavercraft have been so happy with our competition that they thought it was a bit mean, only having their 3-knife set with the tool roll and the compound. So they've added a second prize, a 2-knife set for a runner-up. Yes, so there'll be 2 winners. How good is that? G'day, Tammy. How good is that? That there's going to be more things to get for free, and all you have to do is have a picture on the feed and answer the questions, which means having a look in the files, checking the answers, making sure that everybody else has written them down correctly. Yes, you can copy and paste, but I may ask questions later. Yes, I'm still alive to do the show. I made it back from my dog walk with about 4 minutes to spare, and then when I lined up my camera, black. It wasn't working. So on the nail, hit the button, bang. 2 prizes for the Beavercraft competition. So get your entries in. Just get them in, like spoons. Yeah, you got it covered. A chip knife. Yay, if you want to do chipping. I'm not letting my coffee get cold this week. There goes my coaster. Damn. Gravity. Oh, don't. You showed the top of my head. Why? Shave all the hair off when it's cold. I'm stupid. I would have walked the dog and went, what did I do that for? Well, oh well. So yes, 2 prizes. Very happy with Beavercraft's coming to the party with regards to a competition. Such a good thing. It's positive. Gets them a little bit of exposure, yeah, which they wouldn't be able to get in this group otherwise. But hey, freebies. This is what I want to hear. Being able to win something in a group, and it's legit. They will ship it to you. There will be no cost to the winner. It's a done deal. Bang. In 24 weeks, we will be assessing all of the competition entries, and we will be looking to see who's won. So there'll be happy campers on, well, there'll be happy members in Beginners Woodcarvers. Now calm down, a bit of decorum, Garland. Yes. Pretend like it really matters. Rob, you made it! Woohoo! Last week it was really weird that we released the competition, and then I think it was on Monday I looked, and normally these lives, I don't know, maybe 700 to about 1,500 views. Last week it was 138, and I thought, oh no, here I am. I've released a competition. Oh no, I've released the cracker, and nobody's seen it. And then I thought, well, 138 people potentially have. No, well, just keep blasting the feed and let everybody know so that it gets out there. Facebook's a bugger because sometimes you just don't see what's going on. So for some of you, you see, oh no, the bloody competition, I've already entered. Like, will they keep on it? Well, we're keeping it fresh. Added a second prize. G'day, Bill. Thanks for throwing back my comment with regards to John when he cleaned himself up. It's a pod person. Well, if it's a pod person and he can do the live, then I'm all for that. These things freak me out. This morning, it's like, what topic? I'm walking the dog at last minute. I had 36 minutes to walk the dog. Normally it takes about 50 minutes. So quick walk, don't stop sniffing that. Come on, yank. Yank. I don't mean you when I say yank. I mean like the actual physical yank. Oh dear. Yes, so racing with the dog to get back here to not know what I'm talking about. Well, I do know what I'm talking about. We've got the second prize added. Yay, a runner-up. Yay! So 3 knives and 2 knives. What a wicked, wicked, wicked thing from a group for nothing. Yay! And I want to see a lot more of that. It's going to take negotiation, and the knife people that are in the group, I would like them to maybe contact me because Beavercraft are getting a lot of exposure. And anybody, hello, I saw somebody there that I recognised the face. Yeah, to get the exposure in this group, the easiest way for them to do it is to be generous. I'm not asking for the world. I'm not asking. We're talking under $100 worth of prizes with unknown at this point amount of advertising and reactions, because Beavercraft have got their links to eBay, Amazon, and such like in the file itself. They're able to track to see how well this competition does for them. So it's a win-win scenario. They'll see whether or not it was viable for maybe freebies in other groups, but 2 prizes. I was so stoked when the rep got in touch with me and said, hey Carl, it's not fair that only one person wins. Like, it's a good competition. We like what you're doing. Here's a second gift. How's that? God. I did use last week's custard. like to take a picture of my feather. You did the feather challenge. I haven't done it because I've been flat out this week. It's gone. It was so bad that I had to streamline. I've been pulling my hair out and polishing. And I haven't got, hang on. Where is it? I have it somewhere. Let me go back to normality. I've lost it. How can I lose such a big bloody thing? I've got a hat somewhere. It looks like, here we go. There you go. Is that better? That's your admin back. With my iconic BWC hat. I want a little badge that says BWC on it, so that when people say what it is, I can say Big White Chief. I mean, beginners woodcarvers. Wax. Both my feathers went to toothpicks. Oh yeah, that's an unusual feather. Did you like streamline them and make them nice and feathery? We've posted in the past count towards this, or do we need to do? No. All it needs to be is, the reason why we have got to have a photo on the feed is, I love this hat too. We've got to have a photo on the feed. You've got to have a photo on the feed. It doesn't matter whether or not it was 12 months ago or whether or not it was today. The reason being is we can then look at the body of work from the person that's put the post up. Now, if there's a large body of work or a small body of work, it just means that you have been active on the feed as opposed to silent. It's to try and draw some of the silent people out. They can put sketches up, they can put a photograph of play clay, they can, a carved potato. As long as they have announced themselves in some way on the feed, then they are eligible. No, the wrong word. They are up for being in the competition. If there is when we put the name in the search bar, if nothing comes up, only maybe comments or nothing, then it's not fair. It's not fair to have somebody, all of you guys that do post versus those people that don't post. It just makes it a little fairer. You guys are being active, you're paying. Dilly dilly dee, potatoes. Oh, some t-shirts with beginners woodcarvers. Now that, I like that idea. I do like that idea. And Gary, yeah, wicked, instead of watching it later. Yes, so if you've got a photo on the feed of anything that you've done, so that means not going over to Google Images and copy and pasting a picture from somebody else's work. You've got to have, it's got to be your work, and that's why even a sketch. Anybody, yes, Ness, you've got to get the. Oh, Ness, I wanted to show you something. I noticed this in one of the corners of your pictures, the t-shirts. Yes. Oh, you can do t-shirts. Oh, wow. The name of a condom brand. But I've got the same chisel as Ness. Funny that, hey. Yeah, so the competition is really exciting for us. T-shirts, expansion. Oh, wicked, Pete. With your drawing, that's just, we will work it out. Yeah, absolutely, Trojan. We will work something out, and I love the t-shirt idea. That's something that we need to do, because a BWC t-shirt. Fred Hewer, my hero, because he has done every challenge. There's 19 challenges in there, maybe 20. He's done every one of them. He has done more than I have. So I call him my hero, because to me he is a hero by doing all of those challenges. But he puts BWC on them, and when people say, what's the BWC for? He says, I did this for the group. And then it opens up the conversation as to what group, why, how, where. Oh, just brilliant. Brilliant, love that. Oh look, Pete's design skills for a t-shirt would be absolutely superb. I would be proud to wear one of his designs. Oh, okay, Sean. Well, we've got a file. If you look in our files, look at beginner, the beginner carver, a complete beginner carver. Um, uh, it's one of the answers to the questions. It's where that is. You will find information on what knives, what woods, what gloves, what safety equipment, a whole range of information that has been put there for new people, but there's links that lead you to so much information that open the links in a second tab. You are definitely in the right place. Have a read of the file. Any questions, once you know a little bit more of the language, there are so many people to step up and help you. It's what we do here. We share love and kindness. We build confidence. It's information, inspiration, motivation. G'day, Leonard. It is good. I'm here doing the live. How much better do you get? Yeah, the admin of the group sticks his face in front of you and is willing to be shot down, talked to. Excuse me, I have a penis to hide. I hit it with a with the disc. There you go. You can have a look side on. Look at his butt. Oh, thanks, Brett. Oh, wicked, wicked, wicked. You guys are just such good helpers, such good people. I love this group. I love the people in the group. I love the activity in the group. I love the broad spectrum of what we get to see. I mean, if we were in university, we'd be having to look and search for this, and we just put it up there for free, constant concepts. People are doing challenges like the feather challenge. Please upload your feather into the feather album, the photo album. That's in photos, photo album, and then the feather challenge. Have a look at the challenges. There's a file that is also linked to those photo albums. That there's more than one way to get there. You can go through the challenge file. I'm going to expand on that. I'm going to put more information in there. Now that we're consolidating the moderation so that maybe there's more tasks that the individuals will take rather than everybody running to do the same thing. It's very complicated running a group. It takes a lot of time. I'm back to 14, 15 hours when I'm at the computer. This week has been crazy because I've been helping organize other things, other creativity with other people, and I haven't particularly had as much time to be on the feed to answer questions, show where the files are, imbibe in it. I see BD at the Beginners Woodcarvers it's like a tavern, and you've got lots and lots and lots of people that are chatting. And I, as the admin or host, I wander around and I sort of listen in on conversations. And if I see somebody asking for something, I try to back up my opinion with my research. So I'll give you what I think, but I'll also link you to the file as to why I think that. I've done a lot of research for the group for the last 12 months. I love being in this tavern. I live here. Oftentimes you guys visit, and I love the visitors, and I'm trying to make sure that the tavern gets better as time goes on, that it's somewhere that Facebook is, to me, Facebook is a secondary thing. I have Beginners Woodcarvers opens in my browser. When I open my browser, up comes Beginners Woodcarver. So for me, it's the primary place. I live here, love it to pieces. Wouldn't be anywhere else. I've looked in other groups. Yes, no, they post, they show. We show work in progress, which when you see how somebody did something, then that aids in how you can do it. It doesn't tell you do it this way. It says I did it this way and I got a success. And if somebody else does it one way, another might do it a different way. As I often say, you'll hear me say, there's more than one way to defer a feline. There's even more than one way to say how to skin a cat. So there are multiple ways. There's your way of doing it, and you can't tell somebody how to do something. You can only advise, show, share. Dale, I can't get Facebook to run video. Bugger. Do you get voice, Dale? Can you hear, or is it just the video, or because I'm seeing myself and everybody else seems to be okay, so it must be something, maybe bad dropout. Statue mode. Why did he turn it to all the faces? I have to focus. I turned it because his willy was showing, you know, his penis, and that brings out the worst in people, especially as I hit it with a grinding disc, so it's got a big notch out of it. That was done ages and ages ago. And as you can see, the leg where it's cracked and checked, and eventually I will bind that probably with copper, maybe even putting a sandal or a binding leather banding on it. I'll be doing that little bit by little bit. I've had that for ages, but the neck is too long, and I hate the face. The face really. We carve. We have mistakes. We learn. I will show you up close because this one isn't in my pictures, and it's not in my. I don't. Yes. How bad is that? The neck and the head. Let's get it out. Sometimes carvings don't quite work out how you anticipate, and this was one of them. Let's just have a look at his wee winky and look at the big dent. Going backwards. Oh, okay. Oh no, I don't want it in my face. Oh no, never want it in the face. So I managed to put a ding. Don't get your fingers out of his ass. I put a ding in his. I hit it with a grinding disc. That it's like, oh dear. The reason why there's aluminium there is because I was going to put arms on it. But I have that, and I think people come in and they go, oh my God, what the hell is that? And I think about cutting the head off, but to me it's just it was a carving. It was an experience. I gained some knowledge doing that. I was smelling my finger. Get your fingers out your nose, Colin. Oh look, yes, the screen. Oh, most of my stuff is the screen. You've only I'm just gonna hello. I was going to I hit one of my carvings with the vinegar and steel wool. And I thought, oh, this will be a good idea. And it went grey. And I looked at it and went, oh my God, it's gone grey. What did I do that for? So I hit with a little bit of sandpaper, and the grey is quite deep. So I thought, sod it. I'm going to paint it blue. No wonder they scream. They know that I'm there to screw them up. Hello, Iron Man. Stop waving at me. So yes, look, I have a lot of fun with carving. I often think outside of the circle. I don't always do the conventional thing. I made you laugh out loud. Oh look, I have coffee. I know it's 10:30 in the morning for me, and it's after 9 for you. Yes, yeah. Okay. So yes, what I thought I'll do with him is I will experiment a little bit more. I will make it blue. I will hit it with some power sanding so that it becomes lighter. But I tried something and it didn't work for me. I actually made a terrible mistake, and what's the term? Screwed the pooch. I made a massive mistake with that. So painting, finishing, know what you're doing, try it on 5:30 there. Okay, 9:30 in New York and 5:30 for Pete, so you're 4 hours behind. Cool, good to know. What's in your coffee? Not as much as what's in BWC. Okay, well, there's actually to begin with, there's a 3-minute owl carving. Takes about 2 hours the first time you do it, but it's a 3-minute owl. That's a thing in the challenges. That is a challenge to begin with. But the realistic owl, that comes with quite a lot of time. You'll see people are putting feathers up. Experienced carving is what teaches. We make mistakes. As you can see, I make mistakes and laugh about them because there's no point crying over them. I can always cut into them. G'day, Corey. No, it's not blue. The blue was me just having a laugh, showing people how to fill out the comments and the replies. It's not blue. No, the answer is definitely not blue, and it's not over there either. Yeah, owls are something that I'm actually looking at the future challenges. We've got quite a few easy ones. I want to put in some middle ones, and the feather is quite hard. Feathers on a bird, when you have to do so many lines, that is a skill that you have to practice. So we do. I think that the challenges are going to build as time goes on, and there's going to be an array. I've got to do a tortoise or a turtle, because that gives people the opportunity to have a go at scales and big scales, so that they understand how a scale looks, so that if they do a snake or a reptile, their snakes are closer to realistic. We're going to have things like snakes, scales, we're going to have birds and feathers, we're going to have fur. Those are things that are hard. I always do faces, so it's going to be a new arena for me to have a go, because I haven't done animals. All I've done is I do expressions and emotions, and most of them are screaming and unhappy, but that happens. Excuse me for my usual disgusting habits. Not a reefer. It's a hand rolled cigarette, which is even worse. Okay. Any questions? Because it scrolls and I can see it this week, and it's scrolling like it's supposed to. So I had to see how I did things and fix the work in progresses. Yes. Well, this is it. I make a mistake. I push it to one side and I go, ow, that's wrong. I didn't do that right. So no worries. And toilet paper, mate. Toilet paper. Make sure you've got it if you're having chili beans. Yeah, so I tend to do emotions more now. I've done the star challenge, and I've done the ball in the cage challenge, and I've done a lot of the baseline ones so that I could build the files up. Well, now a lot of you have done. Look, it's what we do in this group. We share information. That's what we do. Kindness, love builds confidence, information, inspiration, motivation. When you put up on the feed, let's face it, we put our pictures up because we want peer review, really. And when people say, when we peer review our work, when we hear it's the positives, and of course we all can see some faults and flaws, but we don't need to point them out. The person that's carved the item can see where they've made mistakes. They just maybe don't want to acknowledge it to themselves, or they feel inferior. When people, what I see, when I see, sorry, I'm just reading the thing. KN 600 is 2 knives, a V-tool and a gouge from FlexCut. For your first beginning set, it's a good set. It is a good set to begin with. Like everybody else, once you actually start buying a few tools, you can see mine behind me. Every time I go to the wood shop, I end up buying 1 or 2 more tools that I know I need. Maybe you'll be able to watch this later, Dale. Yes, once you actually start getting tools, then you become a bit of a collector. If the bug bites, if you have once you start carving and you can't leave it alone, well, here's the place to share it, because we love a log because we can see the potential in it. When we look at carvings that other people have done, it helps us see where we're going wrong. Sharing that really, it's the next best thing you can have to actually being in a class where somebody can come over and guide you. When you put your work in progresses up, we get to see how to do it, but we can also, yes, leave no carver behind. Yes, yes, yes. Confidence. You can all carve. Here's the simple fact. If you look back from years from now, you'll look at now and you'll say, but I could carve. And you can carve. Everybody can carve. Carving well is practice and encouragement to carve well. It's to be inspired by seeing things that you wouldn't think of doing. That's what reinforces and boosts confidence to be able to carve. You will try harder things. You will see other people do hard things that you'd think, I can't do that. Okay, we have a lady that has done carousel horse. She has a background in ceramics and she's a teacher, and she's done her first horse. And a few people said to me, that's not a new person. It's a new project. And she goes through it step by step by step. She's got 6 or 7 books of how to do it, and she's shown us in in progression shots how to do a carousel horse. And she shared that with us. What a wonderful, wonderful thing to be able to see without having to get the books. You can see, okay, this is roughly how we do it. Having a rough idea, the more experience you get, the more you can read from a little piece of information. I can look at 12 months ago, if I looked at a carving, I couldn't have told you what tools were used. Now I can look and I can go, oh, okay, they used a vena, they've used a U-gouge, they've used a V-tool, they've used a small V-tool, they've used a big V-tool. I was discussing with, g'day Jerry, was discussing with one of the newer people about the sweeps and how over a certain number they become a U-gouge, when it gets to 11s and 12s and they're V-tools, and if it's an 11 it's a certain degrees, if it's a 12 it's more, and if it goes up in higher sweeps then it becomes, it does this, the higher up it goes, and the finer it does. A V-tool is a pencil, basically an outliner. That's what we use it for. And because there's 2 chisels kind of side by side on one, Hollywood is watching. Ah, yay, I made it to Hollywood. Woohoo! I'm a star. No, hang on. Oh, no, it's up there and I can't be. Oh, if you look in the very, very side of, let me look. Okay, if you look just there at the end of my finger, you can see half a star. That was my big attempt. So I'm a star, there's a star. Now behind me you can see a little red box. That's not behind me, that's behind me there. Yeah, there. That's my pyro kit. And pyrography, I always have trouble saying that. Hey, Tina, if you can't draw, look at the proportional face design. That will give you the ability to draw face after face after face. You'll go, why didn't I use this to begin with? I can do faces, yay! The rest of the proportions, well, that takes a bit of time and effort. I want to do some basic drawing tutorials, videos. I want to do some clay moldings, so that this way you can see that 3-dimension, the art is laid on online drawings. Yeah, when we share these things, then instead of saying where's a pattern, you draw one. You create it yourself, and then you're not copyright infringing. In 40 years' time, people will be copying what you've done now, what style, because the internet's only going to grow. The information in our files is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger, and I probably won't be sitting here in 40 years' time. Who knows? I might be. God help you if that's the case. But my intention with this group is to pass on a fully informed group, where all the information that you could possibly need is here. Now, we, the management, will slowly but surely start showing you where the information is in files, bringing your attention to the files. G'day, Jessica. Oh, look, I love wood carving. I love wood carving. I'm enjoying doing all of the faces up there and the ones you can see on the bench behind me. I'm enjoying doing them because it's giving me experience with different woods. But the reality is I'm addicted to both the group and carving. My understanding of the group is this is where I store all of the information that I need for wood carving purposes. But it expands, you know, like I'm saying about pyrography, wood burning. We just linked, if you look up in who we suggest, there's a small group of worldwide pyrographers. And some of the work in there is just wicked. And they are very much like we were when we were small, but they give information and they help. And they're a lovely, lovely, lovely group. And if you are interested in wood burning, go look in there. We are going to link with people that specialize in certain areas. We do enough carving sides of things that we can fill book after book. We can fill book after book after book with the information that we get in here. And pyro is let's say part of the finishing process. You pyro before you use any kind of solvents or finishes, because then you're not burning in the chemicals that they place in resins. They're not all. Some of them are chemically balanced resins. And poly and stuff, you don't want to pyro over that. You want to do that before. So if you're into wood burning and you want to do, say, brown hair or orange, a yellow tinge to the hair or whatever, then your pyro kit can do that. So as a finishing tool, it's really good. If you do, I don't know, bowls, you can do writing and imagery around the outside of the bowl. You can do runes and stuff. The pyro group that we've associated with is a small group run brilliantly. Aid Timmons is a wonderfully helpful man. If you have any questions, he will help you. So they're the specialists in wood burning, and the people in the group are just lovely. Brett's in there, I'm in there, and a whole bunch of you are already in there. I think we increased their numbers by 50 or 60 people. Just by linking, so which made a lot of work for him, the poor bugger. But yeah. So I'm not anti other groups. When I see people answering questions like, go to this other group, if the information is already been placed in our group, I would rather expose the person here than send them elsewhere. But hey, I don't own anyone. The only bit that I do, I'm one member in a group. I put in a lot of time, yes. That's because I love you guys. I love this. I love that you carve, you inspire me. You are all my teachers. You teach me how to do what I do. When I don't know, I can ask. I've asked if anybody has the Wood by Eric Meyer book, because it's supposed to be a very, very good book if I listen to the man who wrote it. I'm looking for some reviews from people to tell me whether or not it's $100 book. I don't want to spend $100 on a book. I'd rather spend $100 on different woods. And I've got new woods coming. I've got some apricot, I've got some plum, I've got some Australian cherry coming. I've got some more red gum that could potentially replace the grubby bit that I've got. Some silver wattle. So I think we're up on about 43 different woods on my chart. Slowly that will build. I kind of need the wood books so that I don't want to copyright infringe, so I don't want to take anything from anywhere else. Oh yeah, no, Corey, it's a good place to be. Yeah, so you can get going again in a couple of months. Well, this is the time you've been drawing, so start drawing up some of your designs. Build on your drawing skills as your carving is out for a little while. It's a good idea. I don't think I'll ever be anything other than a beginner woodcarver. Hey, look, me too. I want to learn from you guys, so you keep feeding me with the feed, with posts, and we grow. We all grow, and we share that growth. That's beautiful. My wood chart will come together. I can use the Wood Database, good database for woods. I can use their free website. I wanted the book because old-fashioned, and an index takes me exactly where I want to go. Page 56, done. Okay, there's the information I want. On the internet, the information is there, but it's like, okay, in this pond of water, I want you to find this cupful. Once the water's in there, it's like a sea of information. It's hard to find relative data, and it's hard to swim through the disinformation. people have an opinion and they want their opinion to be right, so they authoritatively write it up, and they may be a good writer, but oftentimes the information is incorrect. I've found this because I've gone from site to site to site. I don't take one person's information. I look, I read, I rewrite. I add my experience to it so that I'm an honest man, I feel, and I'm honest with you. So I will tell you truly if the information is valid or invalid. I see lots of opinions. I think, well, people are entitled to have their opinion. My reality is my reality, your reality is yours, and I don't intend to make you accept my reality as true. But I will put up links to the information that is valid. The internet is an ocean. It's so hard to navigate. Oh, wicked. Oh, you've got your electricity, so your solar panels worked. Nice one, well done. Yes, so I swim a lot in the ocean. I go looking for information. I don't get distracted overly. I don't get distracted very often when I'm researching. I'm a stickler. I read and I read and I read. And okay, somebody put up in the group that Drake knives ship overseas. So many American companies don't ship overseas. So I actually emailed Gilbert Drake himself and said, "Is this true? Do you ship worldwide?" And he said, "Yes, we do." So from the horse's mouth, Drake's one that does ship worldwide. It's bloody wonderful. I'm the luckiest person in this group because I get to answer your questions, but I get to learn myself. I didn't know what questions to ask. I came into the group thinking I was in here for, I don't know, probably 2 years now, close to 2 years. And the group was very small, and the information was relative to what we as a very small group knew. Now that's grown. As the amount of people grew, the realization of responsibility sort of dawned on me that I have to put up more valid information. It has to be true, and it has to be well researched, because I don't want to bullshit you guys. That's not my thing. So, oh look, I want to get a Drake knife. I want to review knives. I want to be able to tell you that this is worth the money. And we're only talking $30 to $50 usually, American, for a knife. Whether or not I pay for them, or whether or not people are kind enough from the knife makers such as Beavercraft to actually send me a set so I can review, they're somewhere in the post, unfortunately. They'll turn up and I will do a live review. I will unbox them and try them in front of you so that you get an honest review. I think that's fair. If these people want to sell knives, I want to let you know that these knives are valid. Now, I upset a few people because I said I disclosed I was looking to potentially review knives, and they thought I was freeloading admin. I'm not. You see the competition, you see exactly what I've done. The advertising company, or the company Beavercraft, do well out of our competition because they get exposure. We do well out of it because we get prizes, and we do well because you get to see the files to answer the questions. How do you know when your V-tool needs to be sharpened? Will it leave stuff on the wood to look for, like strict or something? Your V-tool, V-tools are, there are a few YouTubes on how to sharpen them. Somebody asked this week, actually, how do you know when a blade is sharp? Now, whether that be a chisel, an axe, a gouge, or a V-tool. And while I was researching pines, actually, because the variation of pines is outside of the box, from sweet pine right the way through to a whole range of others. If you go to the end grain on a piece of pine and you slice across the top, now, if it slices off, your blade is sharp. If it breaks out on the thing, then your blade needs stropping, needs sharpening. So Hopefully that helps you. Is a bandsaw or anything like that? I'm also looking to be a hand tool woodworker and trying to get my ducks in a row. I'm trying to avoid machines for an authentic old school experience. Okay, we don't, in this group, we don't mind whether or not you use power or hand tools. I've gone from being a power tool person to learning the hand tools, but it doesn't matter either way. But a bandsaw is a great machine to aid in rough outs. Yes, absolutely. Scroll saw for slightly smaller scale, and for intarsia, the scroll saw is really, really good for that. The blades, but yes. So if you go across the grain and it chips out, you need to sharpen it. That was probably the easiest and nicest explanation I've read so far that I can impart to others. It is a good way. It's an easy way of testing your blades, as if they're sharp. But the more experience you get with them, then you realise that you're going to be experienced sharpeners in a few short months. Because when you carve, the harder you carve, the harder the wood. The reason why we start off with basswood is so that we learn the techniques for carving. The harder the wood, the more experienced really you need to be able to carve it, because levels of difficulty increase as things go on. No worries. And then strop it. If you find that stropping is sufficient, then great. If it doesn't, then we have to look at the potential of using a stone, a whetstone or a diamond stone, and sharpening on there. When people ask about sharpening and honing, I throw two files. There's Franklin Merrick, thank you very much, Franklin, did a stropping video. He did a stropping video, but he also did a file on stropping. So there's a fairly comprehensive stropping file. John Overby did us a nice how to sharpen video, which it's a bit harder to find. Give a yell out, and I'll give a link to it. It's actually in the pinned post comments is where I go to find it, because it's the easiest. But if you put in John Overby into the search bar is a wonderful tool in our group. That will bring up, or even going into the videos, you'll find it. He went live. He did it live. So ask, and I'll one of us will find it for you and link it. But between the two of those, you're going to become not only a carver, but you're going to be a blade sharpener, because you're going to get the experience. You're going to have blunt knives. You're going to have to sharpen them. You're going to have to keep them stropped. Stropping, if I'm working on basswood, I start and I finish a carve and I strop maybe once or twice throughout the whole carving, that's all. If I'm working on oak or gum, then I have to strop a lot more. I'm stropping every few minutes. I can tell it blunts within 2 or 3 cuts, and then I'm back to the strop. But John Overby gives a very good description in his video of how to sharpen a damaged knife. So if it's blunt, it's got rollover, you've dropped it on the floor, you've used it on too hard a wood and it needs sharpening. There is a big difference between sharpening and honing, and there's lots of arguments as to how to do it, because we all learn. But we learn. I can promise you, if you're going to carve, you're going to have to practice sharpening. You're going to have to practice stropping. Keeping them stropped means that you don't have to sharpen them for longer. Maintaining a blade rather than having to resharpen. This is part of the goals that we're aiming at, and you're going to learn this as time goes on. You can't avoid it. You can't go out and buy a new tool. I have problems stropping my gouges of V tools. Yes, they are problematic. They take a bit of effort. And damn, what have I done with mine? There. I bought the slip strop from FlexCut, and the reason why I bought it was because it's just a piece of wood, and they have the profiles. So when it comes to V tools, to do the inside of them, brilliant. The edge for the gouges, that one's curved, that one's flat. Now, for me in Australia, I see online in America, these are like $20. I paid 30, but it does make things easier for stropping. I don't strop my gouges as often as I strop my knives, but then I use a variation. My knife does a lot more work. That, for the money, I consider this to be worthwhile. Ness bought one, I bought one. I see lots of other people. It's the only one that I see that has the contours on it. I think that this was a good purchase to maintain my expensive files. Those tools are expensive, so this is kind of needed. I did read that some people don't use the compound. I find the compound as an abrasive lubricant kind of way works much better than without it. But you can for a while. You can strop on wood. You don't need leather, but the back of leather just it's nice. It's the way to go. So worth investing in, from my opinion. Well worth it. Yet everybody will agree. When you've got one of these, you go, how did I manage without? It does make sharpening V-tools and gouges easier, but you still have to do the curling thing. Put permanent texture on your blade. When you put permanent texture on the edge of the blade, when you strop it, look at it. If you're taking off where the black marker, then you know you're polishing it and sharpening that blade. If there's pieces left, if you see that the permanent marker is still there, then you need to strop more. And of course, like we'll do 10 to 20 strops on with a knife, so it's kind of 10 to 20 strops with a gouge, and it's always a rolling action for a gouge, remembering the different sweeps. Your V-tools, you work it like you're sharpening two single flat chisels that just happen to be joined. That's you've got to have the mental side of that. A V slipstone for sharpening, yes. That's I haven't had to do that yet. I'm going to be sourcing online some stones. Oh, got an itchy eye. Oh no, that's the finger I touched the penis with. Not my penis, the wooden one. He's got wood, not me. Look, the tip, yes, that marker, it's an engineer's, they use engineering ink, which is generally blue rather than black, but they do that on their tools, and that's where I kind of, I've known that tip for a long time because of welding. I was exposed to that. That's how you know some things. So some good. Well, look, we're up on 52 minutes. It always seems to be at the hour of power. And I think, oh my God, I'm going to have to go live for an hour. What am I going to talk about? I haven't shut up, have I? It's why do I do this? Because I've just got to talk, man. I've got to show you this. This is awful. This is terrible. Every time. Look at that. I didn't drink me coffee. I think in an hour, I think that would have probably gone cold by now, don't you? I don't like cold coffee. Yes. Layout die, thank you. Guys, 53 minutes. Last questions. Open for any questions at all. Oh, look, you can see my star now in front of my Tin Man. We will be continuing, yeah, cold coffee, awful. We're going to be continuing this week to put the competition out there. If you've seen it lots of times, sorry. Trying to get it exposed through Facebook to as many people as possible, so that as many people as possible get the chance to win one of two prizes. Two prizes. So yeah, we're gonna do that. I don't like iced coffee. Yuck. Yeah, so we're gonna this week I'll probably be scheduling the posts for the competition, and I'll have it scheduled that every 12 hours the post will go up to hit. It's a global competition. Anybody can win it anywhere in the world. Wow. don't get many freebies and competitions that are real in groups. Doesn't happen very often. What's the next challenge going to be? I probably am going to have the tortoise turtle challenge, so that way you get the hexagonal scales to do, the armament. It's not particularly detailed, it's not overly hard, but I think probably a turtle will be the next challenge after the feather challenge. And it's just a matter of making the file. The feather challenge is on. Please upload your photos into the photo album so that later on people can look and see how many people have actually done the feather challenge. It separates that from the feed, it isolates it, and it amplifies your work. Upload if you can. If not, I can upload. It will have my name on it, but I will tag you, the creator, in it, so you'll see that that's happened a few times in the files. People, it's a bit difficult, lots of different platforms to do, but turtle will be the next challenge. Now I probably will release that challenge next week. We'll give this one more week of feather challenge, so get on with your feathers. I have to too, otherwise I drop yet another one. And my hero Fred Hewer has already done the feather and I haven't. He's a hero, yay! Thanks, Fred, for being my hero. And the rest of you, I am so happy that it's been 20 to 27 people has been watching this. So that makes me feel like I'm not talking to an empty room and I don't know what to say. I'm talking to real people. Thank you so much. I really, yeah, John, what a shame. You've done your challenge, great, but that reminds me, you've gone into the competition, and as you're going to become a moderator, invalid. Sorry, John, you won't be able to win. There's me trying to encourage people to go in, and then I'm telling people, I'm really sorry, but you can't. Yes, any questions, pop them up on the feed. Somebody will answer them. Store your questions for next week, because generally speaking, Friday Night Live between 9 and 10 o'clock New York time, you'll have me and them and this sort of stuff coming up on your feed. I've enjoyed the interaction. I dread these before they happen, and by the end of them, I've had a ball. I've had a blast. You guys keep me going with the old comments scrolling next to the thing, next to the screen, and remembering to look over there and see rather than looking at. I'll say I may have taken all the hair off, but I could have had a shave before the old live. Oh, I missed a bit. Look, a couple of long hairs. Look, the challenges. What the challenges do is they teach you knife control. They teach you to follow a design. It's learning all the way, and the more you carve, the more experience you get, the better carver you are. And trying different things teaches you everything you want to know about how the wood works, what it does, your choice of wood. I did the chain challenge 3 times and all 3 of them broke. I have failed the chain challenge. I can carve stuff that you see in the background. I know I can carve a chain. My wood choices were not good. Bad boy. Basswood. If only it grew in Australia in abundance. Instead, we have to find gelatong and such to replace it. Or for me, in Adelaide, I go to Otto's Timber, and yes, that's the plug, because it is Aladdin's cave in there. I've shown you videos, but it doesn't impart the smell. Ness went there this week, and she experienced the smell. She went, "Oh, the smell!" Because you can smell those lovely woods. The camphor laurel is just humming its smell, and all the woods just add a little bit of aroma. I had to end drill the Purple Heart and some coachwood, which is sycamore, which I didn't know, but I do now. And I ended up with dust all over my hands, of course. Well, I brushed myself off. I was in a rush. I didn't wash my hands. And then all day long, I smelt like cinnamon, because the woods had, and it's like the mating call of a wood carver. Right, 59 minutes and 43 seconds. Safe and happy carvings, guys. I will see you on the feed. Thanks for being here. Thanks for sharing. Love, kindness. Namaste. Later. Now, this bit's funny because I've got a new mouse and it don't want to work. And I can't. My mouse isn't working. I can't shut it off. Oh, shit. What's going on? Oh, okay. There we go. We got mouse. Yay. It looks like you're stuck with me. I'm going to be here 24/7 entertaining you. Now, this is going to be fun. 24 hours. Where do we start? God, how to empty a group within 24 hours. My love to you. Safe and happy carvings. Make sure you keep your fingers out of the way of those blades. No cuts, no injuries. Adios, amigos. End live? Yes. Oh, if you end this live now, you'll be able to choose if you want to delete it. Well, I'm going to save it. I'll see you on there.